my current favorite. I mean, I would say either Chappelle or Burr are my favorite guys.
You really go out on a limb with that. Yo, Dom, over here. Hey, Dom, hey.
Yo, Dom.
Hello, children of the corn. Richie?
Dom, do you and Richie Redding know each other? Or is this first time?
First time. I think it's the first
yeah.
time for us.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I saw you a very long time ago and like said hi. You know that.
When I was back in my 60s.
Yeah, you were a young chap.
Just a young skipper. What's going on, Dom? Good to see you, man. Been a little while. What's happening?
You miss me?
A little bit. Yeah, I would say so.
How does it feel, motherfucker? Cut!
Feels pretty good.
Dom, how was that JFL set with Russell Peters? How was it?
Great.
Oh yeah.
I was intimidated by the sound. I was like, people were doing fucking backflips and kind of crazy. I understand that you're a Mennonite.
Who's that? Me?
Just the guy that's all the wrong things. Shit, sorry, was it you?
Amish.
I hung with Russell Friday. I went to his show at City Winery. That was kind of cool.
How do you get in all these fucking places?
What do you mean? No,
everything. I stopped. I was in his dressing room, taking a bath.
No. He invited me. He invited me.
Oh, sure.
No, you don't remember calling? So, Rich, this is what happened. Russell Peters came on as a guest on the podcast. Mm-hmm. My wife is Russian. She's from Russia.
I'm sure he's interested in the story, by the way.
Okay.
And Russell's her favorite comic. Dom picked the phone up and got us backstage when he was in Philly. Very nice.
Okay. I kill myself. Kill.
Yeah.
So you didn't show up with a pizza or some shit and then just insinuate yourself?
No. Do I strike you as that type? Not at all. Not at all. But
Richie, how did you and Steve meet? Because that would kind of tell us. That would kind of tell us, and we could trace it back. Actually, all three of us.
How did we meet? So I know you came and did my shit show in in Gloucester City. Steve.
Yeah, Jack's. There was a comedy night at Jack's. I think that's Camden, right?
It's White Camden.
What's that? What's that mean? What's that?
It's
Gloucester City. Yeah, Gloucester City.
Directly next to Camden.
Camden, New Jersey.
Yeah, Camden, New Jersey.
Remember Bill Burr did that thing.
Yeah, that's where you had. You had that show there, right? That was
God, that was funny.
It was Opie and Anthony, right, Dom? That was what it was.
But these losers they follow a radio station since 7 a.m. They're all drunk.
Yeah,
they booed everybody.
They booed you.
Yeah, they started. But there's only 300 out of 3,000. You know, so it didn't really. I said to them, "Time out. How much money you made today?" I got $1,200 for fucking 10 minutes blowing me. Go back to your mother's basement with the Z t-shirts and go fuck yourself. Then they were on my side. And I'm getting off. Bill grabs me. He goes, "They fucking heckled Dom Irrera." I go, "I am Dom Irrera. Don't worry about it. You're my boy. Kill it." You know. And he was so fucking funny. I was crying laughing.
Dude, I was at that show.
Were you really?
Mm-hmm.
Just in the stands?
Yeah.
Jimmy Schubert comes in.
Go.
There you go.
No, I was with a bunch of young Philly comics, and it was a train wreck. And Jimmy Schubert was the first one that really got.
He told me. He says they booed me. I couldn't. I sucked. I said, "You can't get if they boo you and don't listen. You can't even. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Just get the fuck out of there."
Right.
Yeah, but they kind of came to boo him, right? Because he had said something on the radio like the day before about
really?
Philly.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. So they showed up geared up for him, and then it was just it was a train crash. It was just one car after another.
They let Bob who died.
Saget, yeah, Saget, Bob Saget.
I don't think they booed him because he had a guitar.
No. Yeah, but he was in the second half, right?
Oh, what a disaster! It's outside. They give you a break to drink more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all right. I feel bad telling you this, but I actually made $20 because I bet Pat House. It was so bad, and they were booing everybody, and we're looking at who was next. I was like, dude, I think they might boo Dom Irrera. He's like, no fucking way. No fucking way they boo Dom. I was like, he's like, it's his city. I was like, I don't think it matters. They're just really enjoying booing people. And you won, but I like when it started, I was just like,
wow.
I didn't know Pat was there also because we've had Pat on the show. We've had, I feel like a third of the people who've been on the show were either at that performance or were there with you.
Yeah, Schubert, Pat House, Robert Kelly did the show.
Wasn't Marino? No, it wasn't Marino.
No, Marino wasn't.
No, Marino was Kramer. He was there for the Kramer
Marino was
thing.
there the night that he followed Kramer.
Yeah, he followed Kramer.
Yeah, after the rant.
That's what it was.
I was actually the black guy that was up there.
Oh. So what do you remember about like the show after that? You heard Burr do his whole rant then?
My favorite line was, and fuck the Liberty Bell.
Yeah.
What did the Liberty Bell ever do to anybody?
Yeah. Well, my favorite part of that was I hope Donovan McNabb snaps both of his ankles. You guys, you're such a racist city that you've got a statue of a 5'2" Italian that doesn't exist. Meanwhile, you've got Joe Frazier, but you're so racist you can't even fucking give him any respect.
Sums up the city of Philadelphia in a couple lines.
Yeah.
Were you drinking at that time, Rich? I know you don't drink no more.
Yeah.
You were drinking then?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Me
Were
too.
you weren't one of the booers, were you?
Of course.
I only booed Dom.
Yeah.
I booed myself.
It was $20. Come on, I had a boo to start Dom.
Yeah.
No. The only boo I remember being a part of ever was when I was 12. Tiny Tim came to town. He was traveling with the Barnum and Bailey circus, and they sent this poor bastard out, and with the falsetto and the little ukulele in front of like 10 Boy Scout troops, and he got his ass handed to him worse than anything I've ever seen in my life. He popped like peanuts flying.
Know your audience.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like now as a performer, even if I can never boo anybody.
No,
I just can't find it. And even
It's
if
so
I'm breaking,
stupid.
yeah, I mean, it's like talking shit in the comments online. Like
What do you think the appropriate response is? Just not to laugh. Just don't laugh. Is that the right response?
Bark.
Bark.
I get all the bugs in this fucking to come out and scream. My bark is so good. You heard me, right?
Yeah.
So good that real dogs get intimidated by it. It's sad. I go, come on. I don't brag about my stand-up.
You brag about the bark.
I've seen you do that on stage, Tom.
It's a showstopper.
I'm sure.
I've seen you do that. I've seen you do that.
Right, but I can bark.
A shitty crowd. I've seen you do that to a shitty crowd.
Really?
Yeah, at Helium. I thought for sure that you guys might have. I thought for sure you guys might have worked with each other at the Laugh House.
Well, he looks familiar to me. I'm
on
sure
South Street.
Met him.
Yeah, no, I mean it was always I feel like you came around usually around like Thanksgiving or the holidays or something, right? To be home.
Rich,
I was never on those shows, but
did you leave Philly before Helium opened, or you were there?
I was out of there like right when it opened, and also in the end stages of my alcoholism, so I might not have made the best impressions at Helium per se.
Per se?
Yeah.
Now you speak Latin, huh?
Yeah.
While we're on the
Not to show
topic,
off.
while we're on the topic, I got banned at my first club. Have you guys ever
Recently?
had that? No,
What
I
you do,
found
asking
out
for it?
I found out I was banned by another comic.
Really?
Oh, you didn't know you were banned.
I didn't know. No,
Oh.
What, did you laugh at Craig Shoemaker? Did you laugh at one of his jokes? You know, he can do a Barney Fife. Isn't that amazing? Out of nowhere. How do you keep so topical like that? No, he's one of the only people I fucking hate.
Yeah, what's up with that?
You wouldn't believe it.
All right, we don't have to get into it. I know it's a sore subject. Yeah.
I mean, I'm here for it, but what did you get banned for, Steve?
No, I found out that I pissed off somebody that books the room. He didn't like the way I thanked him at the end of the night. So he built up this thing in his head that I'm like, who the fuck does he think he is type of thing. And now he has a problem with me. And he said I'm not allowed to work at the club again until I apologize.
Dude,
so I'm like, I've heard of ego, but that's like, wow.
I had somebody tell me that I had a comic that was there like 2 weeks after I was, one of my good friends. This booker said he was a booker / comic, so he was really good. And he told this guy that he wouldn't tell him what I said, but he cried on the way home. I was like, what? I was like, what can I possibly have said? Like, I racked my brain trying to think of it. It's like, dude, like I had no interactions with him. It's like, dude, he said he cried. Like, this grown ass, like, this guy's suicidal. This isn't my fault. Like, he shouldn't be doing comedy, but he really shouldn't be doing comedy if whatever like passing comment I made this dude fucking break down in tears.
Yeah, very sensitive. Yeah.
That's a special type of comedian right there. Does he bring that energy to the stage?
Oh, does he?
No, but I'm not even gonna approach this guy. That club's written. Like he told a bunch of comedians he's not allowed to work at this club again until he comes in and apologizes to me. And I don't even know what I did. So I'm just like,
he's never talked to you about it?
Never talked to me about it once. Odd.
I mean, I've definitely been banned from places for being blacked out on stage, but the coolest thing close to that was that Giulio Gallerati told me he came back from working a club one time. He was like, this story makes me sound way cooler than I am. He's like, dude, the Richie Redding rule. I was like, what's that? He was like, yeah, the waitresses at this club told me about it. It's like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, the waitresses aren't allowed to go back to the comics' rooms anymore.
Sick.
Because a waitress was seen leaving your room in the morning, but she was the apple of the eye of the owner who was married, but had a crush on this chick. So apparently he just put the kibosh, and it was like I wasn't allowed in the kitchen anymore. It was all these weird rules, and then it turned out, but they said it like it was like a universal rule, and it was just I wasn't allowed back there. And it's not like I'm some like guys. It's the same person that you see there, not irresistible.
When was the last time you drank?
January 30th, 2008.
Cool.
Damn, bro. God bless you.
Been a minute. In Philly. On 2nd Street, actually.
What made you do it?
Quit?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that night, like, the next day I woke up and I was like 5 miles from where I was drinking, didn't know how I got there.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was in my ex-girlfriend's bed, who I had taken hostage yet again.
My hero, Richie Redding.
Yeah, no, it just felt like shit. And so I tried to stop drinking for 5 days, and it was so hard to stop that first night that I knew I had a problem. And then, I don't know, I just started putting days together, and my life got better.
did comedy have anything to do with?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's why I wanted to get sober, because like, you know, I couldn't do shit.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't take hangovers.
Yeah.
When did you quit, Dom?
I think 100 days or something now, but I haven't done really drinking in 3 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, awesome. It's not good. It's definitely bad. And I'm sure as a comedian, you're much sharper without it, you know?
Yeah, because I didn't get nervous by the time so that juice for the nerves was gone. So
right.
I couldn't take it.
Rich, did you use it to get the edge off? Did you drink to get the edge off before going up?
It was a crutch, you know? It was just, that's what, like, yeah, my whole stage persona was like messy and shit, you know? And it was like, I remember even when I wasn't really that fucked up, like people would be like, "This dude's wasted," you know, like just because like that was just my whole affect.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know if it was like to take the edge off so much as it was just to like rely on to not really do the work of getting good at comedy. You know, like I had pretty good bits, but like I never like polished them and you know, worked on economy of words and rewrote shit all the time. So yeah,
I had gotten too strong as a comedian, so it was very hard for me to go anywhere. No, they didn't listen. You know, it just it reminds of a rock guys kind of thing, but I couldn't get a word of it. Dom, and you know,
it's got to be a tough problem to have.
Well, you know, it's very distracting. I got to sign everything and all this shit.
Yeah. Trying to walk here.
Yeah.
And people
remember that guy we had here, we won't say his name. This guy was saying, I fucking should, like he was a one-man fucking military outfit.
One of our guests?
Yeah. I fucking killed.
You should name them.
It's too bad.
Name names.
No.
Rich, Dom said that's a huge red flag if a comic starts telling you.
If I tell you that is just to set up that something bad happened after it. Like, no, I got beat up in the parking lot, but like, I did well, I swear. Yeah, well, Dom, how about a never bombs? That's my favorite.
Never bomb, yeah.
You know, like a guy that I had his roommate that the dude, he was a comic. This guy would drive from Philly to like Milwaukee to Middle for like 2 days, you know, and schlep it back and be like, how'd it go? Dude, I skull fucked that room. Like, really? Just a severed head, and you were defiling the corpse, were you? Like, did they bring you back to headline? No, they said I can feature in a year or two.
Okay, I mean, you did great then.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm too honest about my sets. I break it down to like the T. Like, minute 8, I completely missed, but I got back 13, and I got no money. I don't know why I'm doing this. Like, I'm too honest about comedy.
Dom disagrees.
With this guy, Scott Blakeman, old comic, and the guy was paying us. He said, "How'd you do tonight?" Scott goes, "They were very attentive." And we waited for more. That was it. Oh, good. That's what you want, the attention.
Yeah.
That's my favorite sneak diss has always been like, you know, how's that guy on stage doing? Really well dressed. Great shoes.
He looks good.
Yeah, snappy.
Yeah.
Fuck them. They're stupid. You got the.
Dom, when did you move to LA?
Well, we went back before I was married. 86. I kind of moved here for good, 88.
Okay. So you put a lot of time in New York in the 80s then, right?
Yeah, 10 years.
Wow.
I still consider myself a New York comic, you know, because...
Oh, you do?
Yeah, kind of in my heart, really. I just don't like the city anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your picture's still up all over the place.
Is it?
Yeah, but
When I was young, I could jump like a fucking hawk. What do we say?
I've heard a story before about Piscopo at Dangerfields. Does that ring any bells?
No.
No.
Did I fuck with him?
No, not involving you, but I heard so he had a run in with some wise guys in the 80s. That was
Oh
bad.
yeah, I did. It's Catch a Rising Star, I think it was.
Was it Catch? Oh, I thought it was Dangerfields for some reason.
I don't know, but that's they to change these stories. Tell these guys what happened.
No, I want to hear it from you. You're much closer than I am.
Oh no, I wasn't there that night. They took him downstairs, and apparently he don't like that. It's like a Danny Rose or something,
Was it something he said? You think that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what he
know.
said something on stage, and they didn't like what he said on stage.
Yeah.
He had fucked with these guys from the audience, and he got the hey yo cuz, let me talk to you, and it was shoved him into a coat closet or something. And
So he started lifting weights.
To Joe Piscopo? Really?
To Joe Piscopo, yeah.
Oh, and he's like a Jersey guy too.
Dom said he probably started lifting weights.
Did he? Because he was hospitalized by it, right? It was bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find something about it.
Yeah, so maybe that's when he turned towards the gear.
Yeah, that's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I seen his Carson set on YouTube. I couldn't. He broke into song. He started dancing.
Yeah, he had
it turned into complete chaos.
Well, I mean, there's a brand of comic I think that especially used to happen back then, and it's still in LA, where it's their set is an audition for their talents, right? So the guy that does the super slow-mo act out and that kind of shit. It's you never see that in New York. I feel you still see it in LA, but it's that guy is doing that in case there's a casting director in the audience.
Right.
I was the one who gave them the idea of putting it on McDougal Street or whatever that street is. And the guy in his book, he had that I was the one. It's kind of weird being that part of history, comedy history. We go downstairs to the basement. I like that.
What, the cellar?
Yeah.
You were the one who told them. You were the one who told them to put the cellar on McDougal Street downstairs. Really?
Yeah, I didn't say that,
geez.
but
it is a way catchier name than Comedy First Floor.
Yeah.
What a weird thing.
What about this?
I'm blown away by this story. What happened? That's a crazy bizarre piece of
his name.
Comedy history.
Gnome.
That was it.
Or was it who had it before him?
Rich, you just got past the cellar, right?
Yeah, it's Gnome and
Bill Grunfest.
Giorgio.
Grunfest, was that it, Dom? Bill?
I'm not talking about from the business side. I'm talking about from the geography where they were actually. I thought they wanted to go to Broadway, and I said, "Fucking Broadway's a drag. It's all these scumbags around."
Yeah.
And then that's it. I talked them out of that, and I talked them into because there's 3 colleges emptying in that area, and people was safer. That was my one contribution to the building of the cellar.
That's amazing.
I want to know.
Awesome.
I want to know who built the pair.
Yeah.
Who? What?
You don't want to know about the Grizzly
shows now.
Oh, dude, the Grizzly Bear is a great place to see a show. I love that club.
I love the Bear, actually. Yeah.
Well, I was an actor, and I did a little mime. No, I was in plays and improv groups before I did stand up. I only did stand up because we needed money. It's much easier to get one person than 6 in the app. Yeah, all that shit, But I was always good.
But
I'm kidding.
What years was it?
What years?
Yeah. Do you think you started?
Oh, I started in 1980 at the improv. Okay. I consider that what my start was. But actually, I passed at the comic strip before that, but I didn't know you had to go hang out. When this guy Lucian was the manager, and he goes, "Why don't you come around?" I go, "No, you guys never called me to do a show." He goes, "We don't call you. You got to hang out." I said, "Well, all right," and then I hung out and then got on.
Nice.
But
I was at. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Say.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
You reminded me that I was at the comic strip one night, and I was standing there with Sam Morrell and Richie, the owner that had passed away. He came over to us, and he's like, yeah, got to pay you guys now. Back in the '80s, Seinfeld, fucking Paul Reiser, they would just do this for a hot dog. Fucking guys were starving. and like, I mean, Sam just like look at him and then look at each other like, how do you want us to react here? Like,
yeah, don't pay me. Yeah, just give me a sandwich. Yeah, give me a sandwich and a couple beers.
The business model where the people that make you money starve. Like, thanks, bro. Good story. Fuck nuts.
Yeah, basically.
So where are you from?
I'm from South Jersey.
Oh, what town are you from? I'm from Mako.
Okay, nice. Get yourself a speedway, boy.
Yeah, because you have no accent.
No,
I don't think so. Does he have an accent?
I don't hear it.
Boys,
I mean, not you guys
not
don't
really.
hear it, but other people definitely.
A little bit. I think on some stuff I could, the South.
Yeah.
There's a twang that we got in South Jersey.
No, I'm from Galloway Township.
Oh, okay, cool.
My accent is my mom was born in West Virginia, and I went to Penn and have mostly black friends. So whatever happens with that, that's what got spit out of me.
What part of West Virginia?
You will not believe that this is a place. Groundhog Holler, West Virginia.
I love that place.
Yeah. Used to do the snake bit there. No, seriously, where my mom is from is where they do the snake handling churches.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like the Pentecostal churches.
Yeah, Pentecostal. Yeah, Pentecostal.
Yeah. And like when they first started dating, her like aunts and uncles had a real problem with my dad because he was Catholic. Thought that was weird.
I'm sure they did. Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Yeah. Somebody's not getting into heaven. Not handling serpents.
That's funny.
It's always funny to me to see what questions people that they have been around a long time. What questions? Who do you think is funny? And then who do you think's funny? Who's your number one?
Is this to me?
That's to you, Rich.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna have to go Matt Rife. No, I mean, my current favorite. I mean, I would say either Chappelle or Burr are my favorite guys.
You really go out on a limb with that.
Yeah, deep cut. Favorite person to watch that is accessible to me is Big J Okerson.
Oh, okay.
Who?
Big J.
Big J Okerson.
Big J.
Oh, I like him. Yeah, he's a Philly actor, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Originally from Philly. Did you guys meet in Philly, Rich?
Yeah, back when he was still a wigger.
What's that?
back when Jay was still a wigger. He had FUBU on and shit. I feel like the term wigger might have died off.
Yeah, I heard everybody say it in probably about 10 years.
Are we gonna have to edit that out, or is that okay? I mean,
I think it's fine, right?
I haven't heard that term in like a decade.
Yeah.
Whoa! African American, please.
Yeah.
I said on stage, you don't have to live. I never say the name, the N word, but I think it a lot. I wrote it some way that they got mad at me at on the WIP. I can't talk.
WIP. Yeah, WIP. Yeah, I feel like they would get mad about that. The FCC or somebody would say some shit about that.
That's not us, Angela McCall. That's not us. That's him. It's not us.
Was there a delay on that radio show, Dom, or it was all live?
I think it's 7 seconds.
So they couldn't bleep you.
I mean, they could. Yeah, I guess they didn't though, right?
I don't think so.
I never say the N word, but I do sing it.
So stupid.
Aaron Berg was on last week. He said the only time he says it is when he stumps his toe.
when he stubs his toe.
You work with him a lot, Rich?
Yeah, quite a bit. We actually just
God.
This past week we were down in Dewey together. It's a good time.
So fucking funny.
Yeah, he's a beast. But Dom, who was the guy, or who were the guys that you felt like you were chasing? You know what I mean? Like who set the standard for you when you started?
Well, I first of all, I thought comedy, they did different shows every night. I was that naive and I had no idea that I saw them once. It was like Seinfeld and Mark Schiff and a couple other guys that are pretty big, but you wouldn't know them. And my friend said, "Do you think you could be this funny?" I said, "Yeah, I think I could." I said, "But these guys are really good. They do all that extemporaneous stuff." Then I found out that they practice that over and over. Now it's still hard, but it takes a lot of the pain off when you know what you're going to say.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing the first time I went to a comedy club, and then I went back the second night, and I was like, "Oh,
he said that last."
Yeah. I was like, "Oh, I don't know. It never crossed my mind."
I watched some fucking guy one time completely fall out of love with comedy and me. It was the first time I ever headlined the Laugh House. And guy went to the 8:00 show. He's like, "Man, that was the funniest shit I ever saw. I'm coming back to the 10."
Oh no! Yeah.
Still sat front row, and he mildly enjoyed himself. And then he went to the midnight.
Oh no!
Like, what are you doing, man?
So what are you? Yeah.
And he's just staring at me.
You're ruining my life.
Yeah.
That is so fucking funny. Yeah, people
they killing me.
When I first started here, a place called Going Bananas on South Street. And some of my friends came and they booed the guy before me and heckled the shit. I said, "What the fuck are you doing?" We made sure they were looking for you. Don't do that. He's a friend of mine. What are you fucking crazy? Fuck him.
That's the most Philly shit ever. Yeah. Well, and they also like in their schmuck minds, they think that somehow it's going to make you look better.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then they came to Camden and they booed him there.
Yeah.
They paid a toll.
Same guy. I like Dom's intake on Philadelphia fans. How like they'll really hate their team if they lose. Like lose sleep.
They're so fucking crazy. I have make excuses for their behavior, and they do this snowball thing. That I'm going to fucking kill myself. And, it's like telling us, that wasn't the real Santa Claus. Oh, the real one's okay. Thanks.
I thought the funniest time to be a Philly fan was when Andy Reid was there and the Eagles were losing, because the sportscaster guys would do WIP or whatever. They would do everything they could to keep it about the game. And then the fans would always throw in, "It's because Andy's fat."
Yeah, right.
Like, I think that, our front four, man, they just got to get technically sounder. And fat Andy, man, he's fat, his wife's fat, his kids are fat. He's just too fat, man. Okay. And then like the next guy would say, like literally every person was like,
"Did you ever see that video of him when he was a kid? He was a giant compared to the other kids. See that?"
No.
What, of Andy Reid?
Yeah, you got to check that out. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
he's about 6 feet.
Oh yeah,
he was heavy already. This cute little girl.
Yeah, hold on, I got it. Give me 1 second. I'll pull it up.
Grade.
That's true though. The Philly fans definitely make it personal. It's like,
oh yeah,
dude,
has nothing to do about the sport. Now it's personal.
We had Dr. J. Dr. J was, remember Julius Irving?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So my other uncle, he hated any of the black guys. He goes, the doctor what? You know what he said? The doctor, he's the doctor of my ass. That's a. I said, oh, he's a proctologist, huh? Fuck you.
Union for Andy
Oh,
Reid.
there's a.
Back to December
Spell the
17th,
name wrong. He looks like an adult.
1971. Andy Reid, a 13-year-old in a punt pass kick competition, dressed up in that Rams
Look at
uniform.
How fucking big that kid is.
LA Cowboys.
It's unbelievable, right? One more time, please. Please, please.
Look
At
at
least
it.
one
Look
more.
at it. Look at
Right?
it.
Yes, look at number 22.
It's a real.
Wait, they were all 13?
All 13.
Yeah. The one
That's
beside him is
insane.
literally half of him.
Yeah, but there was no black kids out there too, though. You notice.
Oh, they can't play sports.
They weren't allowed in the 70s.
Isn't that unbelievable? How that's not that long ago.
It's really not. Yeah.
Bill Russell had to not eat it at the restaurant to bring them together. You know, they were going to play. It's fucking unbelievable.
Well, did you ever go down south during segregation when you were a kid?
Nah.
Because it was probably still going on, right? But you probably didn't go down.
No, but I have a friend who lived in Mississippi, grew up there. So he was there for like they only can drink out of one water fountain and all that shit. Can you imagine?
Yeah, that's nuts. My dad told me a story that he was driving down to Florida in like 65 or 6 or something. He was in like Georgia at a rest stop and he went to drink out of one of the like the water fountains and it was the wrong one. And some random guy yelled at him, like screamed at him. He was like, you're drinking out of you're drinking out of the wrong one. Like, yeah, you yelled at my dad. My dad he's from New York City. You know, he had no clue.
Just get bottled water. Am I right?
Didn't exist.
Thanks, Brian.
Rich, what do you got coming up? Any shows in the Philly area or anything?
No, nothing down in Philly real soon. I'm doing some shit down in Tennessee in a couple weeks. Got a bunch of corporate shows kicking off again in the fall.
How much they give you? How much they give
What's
you?
that?
I'm kidding. You ever get these people here? Hey, how much you getting for that? I don't know what the fuck. Was this guy kept being, who do I got to call? It's just it's magical. Just call somebody.
Well, yeah. Well, it's funny because I have a company where part of it is that I produce corporate shows, and the first show that I produced, it was amazing. It was Sebastian Maniscalco during the pandemic, and you know anybody that knows comedy knows that corporate shows are the hardest thing to do in terms of like keeping it that clean. You know, it's like it's a tougher needle to thread than colleges even.
Right.
And when I posted about that show, I get hit up by like 5 dudes immediately that are like hood comics. Like, yo, man, I've been thinking about getting into that motherfucking corporate shit. It's like, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Like, oh, you would like to do the most difficult thing in all of comedy? Sure.
I've gotten the mic taken out of my hand. They turned up the lights and stuff. I've been
on a corporate gig.
A couple of them, yeah. The money was so good, you know. It's like fuck it. It was terrible. Yeah. I had one where the women's all had those saris on, you know, and the guy gets up. I said to the guy who booked me, I said, "Are you sure you saw my HBO special?" He goes, "Oh, no, do what you do." I said, "I don't know." I start, and the guy goes, "You are killing me and my people." He holds his heart, and I go, "My girlfriend, get the fucking car." And it was like a baton in a race. I put it out here. He takes it and hops into the fucking car. We go away. But man, I don't know what the fuck was going to happen. They start going, they were going to attack me.
Dude, I did one weekend ever with Otto and George, and it was some casino like near Niagara Falls or some shit, and the owner was an Indian guy, and he comes over with the real heavy accent and tells us that he's like, have fun, do your comedy. You can do whatever you want to do, but we just spent a lot of money fixing this place up. So please don't make fun of the establishment. And I'm like, okay. And I really didn't know who I was dealing with. and the guy is sitting in the back of the room, and it's like a sold out crowd for him and or them. And he goes up and immediately, with the dolls, this place is a fucking dump. and like, Jesus Christ, there's a fucking rat's nest in here. Like, just going on and on. And it's like 5 minutes of it. And then finally he's like, you really shouldn't say that. He's like, why? Because of the owner? He's like, yeah, he seems like a really nice guy. He's like, he's a fucking Doon Coon. And he hit him with every name in the book. And the dude's just sitting there turning maroon. And he's just destroyed. Like he literally did the entire 45 minutes about the place being a shithole and that guy fucking goats.
You don't see a lot of insult comics as much anymore. Like,
no.
Right? Like, remember who was the dog? Remember that was big, like 15 years ago.
Triumph.
That was a big.
Oh, Triumph. Yeah, that was real big.
What is that guy a stand up that was doing that?
I don't think so. I think he.
Well, yeah, one of the guys that wrote for it is Dave. Why can't I think of his last name? Who rides with Pete Davidson all the time?
Dave.
I'm gonna put this back on.
Oh, Dave Cyrus.
I seal it.
Dave Cyrus,
water. Who the fuck is gonna put something in this water? You guys are sitting there. That's such a fucking erotic thing to do. Your souls are gonna leap into my bottle. I'm sorry.
Hey, Rich, how'd you get the when you were touring with Cat Williams? How did that happen?
Oh man, it's a long story. It starts with getting booed off stage at the Robin Hood Del East. And I had told this story to Ray when we did like a military tour together, and when we got back, it was like that week. He was like, and it was like 7 or 8 years later, and he was like, "Hey, that the Dell is looking for comics for this weekend. Like, you want to even the score." And I was like, fuck yeah. But anyway, because the first time I went out, and I was like 4 months in, and I was in between two gangster rap acts. It was like Memphis Bleak and Joe Budden. It was 100 degrees. Like the guy that introduced me, he was like, this next guy just graduated from the University of Pennsylvania. You could already hear the booze. He might as well have just said, "Here's Whitey." So like before I even touched the mic, they were booing. I was so green that I like looked right into that big ass aircraft landing light. I'm like just fucking dazed on stage. That's terrible. Yeah. And then I like tried to do actual comedy, and that time, like, knowing what to do the next time, just went out and just addressed the situation, and it went really well. And the producer was like, "Hey, get in touch, like let's do something together." And then like every 2 months when I wanted to commit comedy suicide, I would hit that guy up and be like, "Hey, you got anything?" And he never got back. And then just one night, it was like Thursday night at like midnight. It was like, "Hey, can you be in Philly at 7 p.m. tomorrow to open for Cat?" And it was like, "Yes, I can." Really? Yeah. And Dom, I'm killing. I'm scoring. That hurts. That hurts. So I had at that point, which was like probably one of the best shows I had ever had, and but Cat wasn't there, So it was like, oh man, well, great. It was all for nothing. And I'm heading back to the dressing room, and out of the shadows comes a guy in a purple suit, fur coat, fur hat. I'm like, young man, that was absolutely stupendous. I was like, oh my God, you watched my set? Thank you so much. He was like, no, but I heard the crowd and it was stupendous. And I was like, well, dude, I would love to work with you again. He's like, I'll have you on the road, and that's my word. And then 2 months later, and like I'm watching all these other guys like be on tour with him and shit. And then like 2 months later, it's midnight on a Thursday night. Hey, can you get to DC tomorrow at 7 p.m.? Yes, I can. And then it was like, yeah, but it was like, and it's a 2-show weekend. It was like, okay, great. And then that night they were like, oh well, it's actually somebody else booked another comic, so I don't know. And I was like, fuck that guy. And they called him up like while I was there, like, hey, yeah, so we got somebody else. I know, it's disappointing. And the guy's looking at me like, are you happy? And I was like, fuck that guy. I don't care about him. And it just, for the first like 3 months of it, it was literally like midnight the night before every time. And then I finally asked him and just wound up on tour full time with him for like
it was like a steady. You were his opener, steady.
Yeah, it was a traveling circus.
I thought it was funny that guys could, if a guy had a car, that gave him an edge on the other guys that didn't have cars.
Yeah,
that was such a funny thing that this guy's middling tonight because we couldn't get another driver. It was
especially if you have a good real alcoholic of a headliner. That's good. That's steady work, dude. If you're featuring for a real booze bag that has got his shit taken away for a good 10 years, that's the move.
Did the Cat Williams thing, did it open doors for anything else? Like, how long did it last?
It was like 3.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah, work begets work. But
was he doing theaters or any clubs? What was it?
Dude, arenas. Like,
damn, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think the smallest I ever saw him do was like 3K probably. But yeah, I mean, at one point there was crowds like up to 22,000. I think the biggest we ever did.
Yeah, Dom was talking about how, Dom, I don't know if you remember saying this, how like when you do crowds like that, sometimes it's hard not to get like jaded because you get used to doing these
the laugh is different. You got to really, there's a way of doing them because it's, especially, I'm going there, I'm opening for Cher, and I know the tricks to, her crowd is like transvestites and granddaughters. It's all mixed and weird.
They're your favorite types of ladies, right?
What?
To your favorite types of girls?
It's not a Dom Irrera crowd.
The ones that don't get their period, huh?
But they're pretty easy, really. But you really got to take your time. Energy can't be, physically. You got to really let them focus on you. I was in Dayton, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And this woman's she's calling, Cher. I just was in a good mood. I go, listen, you stupid fuck. She's not here. I'm here to fill the time. And she'll come in. Somebody said, will you calm down? Fuck you. And they came looking for me. And the next week I was at Cleveland. Mm-hmm. They came to get me just to boo me. I thought that was so fucking funny.
What is it with people traveling to boo you, Dom?
Why is that bad? At least they're reacting. They're tentative.
Yeah, they're tentative. Yeah.
That's crazy. What's do you like interact with Cher at all?
Her show?
Yeah.
Well, I did one night. We were getting so bored doing the same thing all the time. I got a lead guitar player's guitar, and I go out on the last song. We heard these songs every night, so I sing it with her. Mm-hmm. This is Little Madison Square Garden. It was 17,000, not 20.
Jeez.
And she didn't even say anything. She never said anything. Never said, why did you come in? Or that was funny, or that wasn't funny. She was such a robot. But can you imagine?
She didn't even mention it?
Didn't even fucking mention it. And I was up there for like almost the whole song.
But like she knew for sure.
No. She
Oh,
didn't
you don't know if
anything.
she saw you? Do you think she saw you?
Maybe not. I don't know. I'll never know because we're sitting like this. But
Right.
I was sitting. That it was all cameras and stuff. It was fucking crazy. But we couldn't believe that she didn't even. Maybe she's such a so used to it.
Right. Yeah. She could have just been in the zone or something. Might have not even saw you, I guess. Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of this. The song was pretty cool too. One of those fire songs. Something about
if
fire.
you could turn back time, would you do it again?
With the money, yeah. I mean, the thing is, I think those places are too big for a comedian, and I'm not saying that because I don't get the gig, but I just don't think it works in a room that big.
I think small clubs are the best way to see comedy.
Well, the best way, and I'll make a compromise. Like that one we worked in Philly. It's 2000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Philly Live last year.
Yeah,
that was 1,000. They would that was what
Tropicana, Atlantic City.
They gave us that was 2000. But
2000 was Tropicana showroom. Philly Live was nice. 2000.
That was nice.
Is that showroom theater style that it goes up?
No, it's like a ballroom.
2000.
Oh no, the Tropicana's goes up.
Okay,
it's a theater.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I feel like that needs to be the risers. If it's 2000 flat, that's a
well, the folding chairs. How uncomfortable is that for any fat lady?
Yeah, you're
just hanging over
to. Yeah, I mean, can they get 2 seats?
I don't know.
Have to pay our share.
Do you want to be in the show from now on? We like you, don't we, boys?
We do.
Oh yeah, Rich. Yeah. You want to hang next week too?
Busy.
Not next week.
No, I would come back and hang out anytime, Dom. This is great, man.
Richie Redding. It's called Really Real.
Really Real with Richie Redding. If you guys want to check out my show, it's a lot of personal stories. It's a mixture of personal stories and breaking down the news and conspiracy theories. That I pick apart a bunch of conspiracy theories, and some of them I believe in, some of them I don't. So check them out.
Beautiful.
Nice. Rich, thanks for hanging out, bro.
Rich, you're terrific. Thanks, buddy.
Anytime, man. Thank you so much. See you. Thanks for asking me, Steve. It's me, Brian.
See ya.
Yo, Dom.